Yo, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, welcome back to another Division video. Tomorrow is the day that we all finally get to experience Last Stand, and all the great game changes that are coming in patch 1.6. Provided everything goes to plan, then we should all be able to jump on and start playing around 12:30 PM CET, February 28th. That is 11:30 AM GMT, 3:30 AM PST, and 6 AM EST. Now hopefully, by now, if you guys have been following the videos on the channel, you should have a good idea of what's in store for both Last Stand and 1.6. However, in the event that you've missed any of that, or you just want a super quick recap, then look no further. Ahead of tomorrow's launch, the official patch notes have been released, and while these are fundamentally the same as the patch notes from PTS Week 4, again, if you didn't see those, then you might want a quick summary. They're pretty long, as you can see here, so I'm going to cherry pick the most relevant points to give you guys an overview. But of course, if you want to dive deeper, you can click the link down below. Anyway, enough rambling, here's everything coming to the Division in Last Stand and patch 1.6 in about 5 minutes, give or take. First up, Last Stand. This is your new session-based 8v8 normalized PvP game mode. If you want somewhere to go and battle against other players looking to fight, and not just chase down some helpless individual in the Dark Zone trying to do their weekly shopping, then Last Stand is where you want to be. The normalized model means all your gear will be scaled up to provide the most balanced PvP experience possible. So again, if you want to truly test your skill in a fair fight, or fair enough, then this is for you. And of course, for the PvE players out there, it's not just exclusively a PvP game mode. There are PvE components too that will have you heading around the map, farming AI enemies, capturing key locations, and most importantly, contributing to your team's overall victory. Capture zones, earn points, the team with the most points at the end wins. Simple. After that, there's a new incursion, Lost Signal. This is the biggest and best incursion yet, featuring our good old friends the Arekkz. It takes place in a TV broadcast center and is a lot more involved than previous incursions. So if you want something a little different to do, then definitely check it out. It is of course worth noting that both of these things, Last Stand and Lost Signal, are part of the Season Pass, so you will need that if you want to access them. However, everything else comes as part of Update 1.6, and all of that is completely free to everyone. So Update 1.6 includes an expansion to the Dark Zone, with DZ 7, 8 and 9 extending the playable space north, just below Central Park. Dark Zone leaderboards that allow you to earn weekly and monthly rewards simply by participating in tracked activities in the Dark Zone, be that a number of, say, successful extractions, AI enemy boss kills, chests open, rogues killed, etc. Check your progress in the Dark Zone checkpoints to see how you stack up against other players, and at the end of a weekly or monthly cycle, you get rewards for your participation. Also, speaking of Dark Zone checkpoints, you will now be able to fast travel between them as you please. But do note that fast travelling between checkpoints counts as leaving the Dark Zone, so any loot that you're carrying will of course be lost. There are also Dark Zone contamination events, similar vein to supply drops in that they occur on a cycle, but this time you'll be heading underground to take out powerful cleaners looking to set everything on fire. However, in these events, your filter won't protect you from the contamination, so you'll need to get in, get the job done, and get out fast. Meanwhile, outside the Dark Zone, select missions now have legendary difficulty. There are 3 right now: Napalm Production Site, Warren Gate Power Plant, and Times Square Power Relay. In these, you'll face off against elite LMB that borrow heavily from the Survival Hunter AI. They're typically red and purple in health, but while they lack in health and armor, they make up for in tactics. So don't go into these missions expecting them to be a cakewalk. Successfully complete them, however, and you'll snag yourself an exotic cache. You can get 1 from each mission per week, and these new caches can give you any and all of the exotic weapons or gear currently available. Also, if the term exotic is new to you, all of the previously named high-end items, both weapons and gear, have now been repurposed as exotics. They are red in colour, with appropriate lore and flavour text, and on the weapon front, they've all got new and unique perks, so some of those previously useless weapons have now got value. I've been reviewing a lot of them over the past few weeks, but I will of course continue to do so going into launch. And then on the character customization front, there is also now a premium vendor in the terminal that will sell you emotes, backpack skins, weapon skins, clothes, and more. It'll cost you real money, so do with that what you will. Now, that is a quick overview of the content, but now let's dive a little bit deeper into some of the key patch notes. Again, I won't be covering all of these, but what I will do is link a range of relevant videos down below that will explain any of the missing points in finer detail. That aside, first up, something that only came in at the very end of PTS 4, and that is a change to Deadeye. In light of it being super strong when used with an SVD sporting a red dot sight, the 4-piece talent now only works with scopes that actually zoom, in turn impacting its ability to effectively be a hipfire monster. Your Phoenix credit cap has been raised from 2,000 to 5,000 in light of the changes to recalibration. Speaking of which, there is no longer a cap to the number of times you can recalibrate an item. The cost will increase after the first few recalibrations, as always, but it will then plateau and remain at a fixed point thereafter, meaning you'll never be stuck with an item that was almost perfect, but just needed, say, 1 or 2 more recalibrations to get it where you wanted. Weekly assignment caches also now provide a guaranteed exotic, which means if you've been holding on to any of these prior to 1.6, then come tomorrow you'll have a few guaranteed exotics ready to open. Plus, pair that with the legendary missions, and that's 5 exotic caches a week per character, more if you include the Dark Zone leaderboard stuff, but for the time being, reliable sources are 2 weekly caches and 3 legendary missions. Out in the open world, civilians will now drop target intel instead of useless grey items, which is handy for those of you guys seeking out HVTs on a weekly basis. For gear pieces, some of the major and minor bonuses have been shuffled around. You can see a breakdown on the screen right now. Feel free to pause the video if you want to look in depth, but if there's a plus next to something, it means that it's been added to that category, a minus means it's been removed, and equals means it remains the same. All changes will be retroactive, so there shouldn't be any legacy items kicking around after. And in case you missed it, this is a good one for people cautious about setting foot in the Dark Zone. You will no longer lose Dark Zone XP or currency if you die when not rogue. You will of course still lose some of your loot because that's part of the game, but at least it won't negatively impact your journey to max Dark Zone rank or the money you're saving for that next item. And that, my friends, is pretty much it. That was a quick snapshot of what Last Stand and patch 1.6 is bringing to Division. Again, as mentioned, there are a load of bug fixes, changes to weapons and skills, and various other underlying systems that I have recapped in previous videos, so you can either find out more about those linked down below, or just read the full patch notes for yourself. But if you've been out the loop for a bit, then that is effectively what tomorrow has in store for you. I'll also be streaming Last Stand tomorrow once it goes live, so do feel free to drop by during the day and say hi. But until then, thank you for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.